Do you want to lose fat and keep muscle? Stop eating the wrong way. In this episode, I'll tell you the truth why dieting makes you weak now and fatter later. I'll give you the truth about weight loss diets and what to eat instead. So, guys, tune in, take notes, be ready.
Welcome to the CrossFit Edwardsville Community Podcast, where we hear and learn from our coaches, CrossFitters, and Glen Ed community leaders. Now, here are your hosts, Dallas and Greg.
Guys, in the last episode of the podcast, we talked about how to exercise for pure weight loss versus how to exercise for body recomposition, to be a lean, functional athlete, your best self, to have defined, real, lean muscle that shows and kill body fat. We talked about the difference between those two things because there's a lot of misconceptions around this. And this is also true on the nutrition side of things. In this episode, we shift to the nutrition side of the equation because how you eat for pure weight loss is different than how you should eat for body recomposition. And so I want to unpack those differences for you in this episode. And I want to start by talking about what is eating for just pure weight loss. So in this, your primary goal is just creating a consistent and sometimes dramatic calorie deficit, where people typically focus on their total calorie intake, often very low calorie diets. Macronutrient balance, meaning the balance of your proteins, fats, carbohydrates, is less of a concern as long as your calories are low. There's often a frequent emphasis on high volume, low calorie foods where you have like your salads, veggies, etc. And common tools to achieve this often include your calorie counting apps and very restrictive meal plans. Those are some of the downsides, as is the risk of losing lean muscle tissue, because if pure weight loss is the goal, generally there's loss of muscle with that too, which affects us more and more as we age, as we get into our 40s, 50s, 60s. That loss of muscle has a greater and greater impact on your ability to function and live independently. The upside to this, though, is that it can lead to faster weight loss on the scale, faster changes in the scale numbers. And for some people, that is the primary objective. If so, cool. The way that we're eating in like the way that I'm describing eating right now is the way to get you there. Again, there's the risk of losing muscle along with the fat. And if you are losing muscle and putting your body into a dramatic calorie deficit, a lot of times you're looking at reducing your resting metabolic rate as well, which can make things, slower progress and then also make things harder to sustain long term. Let's look at the flip side of the coin, eating for body recomposition, which is where you have a goal of losing fat while at a minimum preserving your lean muscle and maybe adding to it, building muscle. This is where your calorie deficit may be smaller on average, or you might cycle your calories around your training days, where you may have more calories, what I call peri-workout, P-E-R-I workout, around your workout time. You may have more calories around that time. You may intake more calories on your exercise days versus your non-exercise days. And macronutrient balance and quality, like how much protein, how much dietary fat, how much carbohydrate, those things become much more important. You need to have a higher protein intake, which typically is like 0.8 to 1.0 grams of protein per pound of body weight to preserve your lean muscle, moderate or more moderate amounts of carbohydrates to fuel your training and your recovery, having healthy dietary fats for hormones and satiety. Hormone support may be very important to you. Nutrient timing may play more of a role here also. Having protein with every meal and then your carbs concentrated around workout times. The upside to this approach is that you maintain your muscle, possibly add to it if that is the goal. You can tweak some things to add muscle. That helps to preserve your metabolic rate. You actually have a higher metabolism this way. It leads to better overall aesthetics and better performance. You look more like an athlete. You have lean, defined, toned muscle tissue on your body, as well as higher levels of functional performance. It is more sustainable over time, especially given that you have more food in general, as well as more food variety in general. It's not my personal thing. Like, I'm very okay with eating the same foods over and over, but some people need to have the variety, the spice, the novelty in their eating as well. Eating for body recomposition gives you a little bit more play, a little bit more margin for those day-to-day or meal-to-meal adjustments. Now, granted, the downside to eating in this way is that it does require more planning, more tracking, or at least initially when you're kind of getting it figured out. Progress on the scale will be slower, but your body changes will be more noticeable. Your clothes will fit you very differently. You'll feel very differently, and you'll perform in a much different way. So this stuff matters, guys. A lot of people just think they want to exercise for weight loss. They think they only want to weigh less, when what they actually want is to look leaner, slimmer, feel stronger, move better. And this is where weight loss diets can backfire, because it can cause that sarcopenia. It can cause that muscle atrophy, that loss of muscle I mentioned before. That's where you get the skinny fat look, where you actually see losses of strength, versus eating for performance, eating for body recomposition. You'll see improvements in athletic performance, muscle retention, and I would argue that you actually see more retention of long-term health, HEALTH. If you want to be healthy, this is where it's really, really important, as well as maintaining your independence over time. So at CrossFit, performance and eating for body recomposition is how we train it, and that's how we focus our efforts most of the time. That said, it depends what your goals are. We can tailor things to both goals, but we definitely have a bias toward supporting performance and recovery, encouraging sustainable, real food approaches versus crash diets, having the protein you need to keep muscle and performing, being actually for real strong, really strong. So guys, today we've covered why dieting can make you weak now and fatter later if you rebound or you are not able to sustain a weight loss specific protocol. We talked about what is eating for weight loss, what is eating for body recomposition, why it matters. Just some closing thoughts here. The way that you eat has to match the way you set up your goals. Like pure weight loss, focus on calories alone. Body recomposition diets prioritize certain things like protein and macros so you can sustain your muscle while shedding fat. And that could be a game changer for you guys. I hope this has been interesting to you. Please leave your questions in the comments below. We love interacting with you guys and want to hear from you guys with your thoughts on all of this. So post comments below. For now, I thank you guys for the gift of your time and your attention, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks for listening to my dad's podcast. For more useful tools and guidance, go to CrossFitEdwardsville.com and feel free to like, share, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comment sections down below. See you in the next episode.